our teachers and you and us to use when we are teaching remotely throughout this entire 2-hour presentation. The second is that we are in this together. So several times in the next couple of hours, you are going to see names of people who are here to directly report, to support you. So if you have questions, comments, or just general needs, please reach out to any and all of us. And the third is we are on a journey. So we are all learning how to do remote instruction, blended instruction together. So we are going to be vulnerable and teach in ways that we have just learned this summer. And we are asking that you also embrace being vulnerable and practicing things that you are just learning. So Dawn and the rest of the team have some great stuff in store for you.
So again, our theme for today that we're going to keep referencing back to is, if not now, when? If not us, who? Again, by the great Senator John Lewis. As throughout our presentation, we are going to celebrate the life of John Lewis and his tireless effort to demonstrate when you know better, you do better. Right. Dr. Williams with the equity statement.
So we want to start today. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I cannot hear anyone.
All right, I got you, Dr. Williams. So we always, as you guys know, if you've ever attended a curriculum and instruction PD, we are grounded in our equity statement, and it is the foundation for our work. All children, regardless of circumstance, receive high quality, grade level, standards aligned instruction and access to high quality curriculum, instruction, and now we are so excited to add on technologies to that. With the devices being distributed and our combining of LTT and CNI. So with our call to action, based on our learnings from the previous school year and ensuring that we are seeking a clear line of sight, we have called out these 3 items as our call to action. And we want to call out that this PD does address all 3 of our call to actions. So 1, we want our students to find new ways to see themselves and other cultures in their learning. We are going to spend the vast amount of instructional time engaging learners in grade level work by prioritizing the critical work of the grade. And number 3, we are going to address unfinished learning with precision and only as necessary. So this is just in time as opposed to just in case. So next, we're going to give you a few minutes to take, well, not a few minutes, a few seconds to review our virtual norms.
And we really want to highlight one of our norms that we have added, equity of voice, because we know how important it is for all of our voices to be heard. And as a result of today, We will explore our Schoology courses, and we will have a deeper understanding of what is accelerated learning.
And as we will go through the day, we always want to be modeling the experiences that students and teachers will have while collaborating and discussing on our learning platform, which is Schoology. So you will see 3 discussion boards embedded in the Schoology course that are related to this morning's learning. These will be referenced throughout the day, and they can be accessed both through the Schoology page and through the slide deck. But this is a place to capture your thoughts and respond to your colleagues as you process the learnings this morning, transitioning between the activities that we do. You'll see the 3 discussion icons in Schoology, and please engage with the process and the work, and then join the discussions. This is a tool teachers can use to facilitate discussion among their students and with families, and they can be set up in the flow of the Schoology lessons. So you can see the 3 questions there, and please join in the conversation.
Through our equity statement, our call to action, and the discussion questions, which are an opportunity for us to reflect during the day, we all know that justice is in the details of teaching and learning. So what is accelerated learning? So take us 30 seconds to think about those 2 words, accelerated learning. We want you to post 1 or 2 words in the chat. Do not hit send. Please post 1 or 2 words that resonates with you about accelerated learning. And we'll give you 15 seconds.
Like Dawn said, this is a rapid chat. And so we are giving you guys 15 seconds, and we are at 10 seconds right now. And then we will hit enter on my command. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and hit enter on your screens. And that is a practice of a rapid chat.
All right, and we're seeing things such as movement forward, learning at a fast pace, rigorous, mastery targeted, equity and opportunity, purposeful instruction, again, rigorous. Woo, it's a lot of people in the chat. Grade level, rigor and with purpose, focused. Definitely seeing that rigor and grade level and intentional and focused as a trend throughout all 123 of you. So we are all headed in the right direction. So that leads us to our next piece. So when you hear us say justice is in the details of teaching and learning, one way for us to bring that to life and put it to action is by accelerating learning for our students. So in order to ensure our mission is clear with accelerated learning and give you a better understanding of what it means for all students, we put together a little video. So this video will introduce you to accelerated learning and also tell you how the Distinguished Educator program and Schoology courses will support our work in providing equity and access for all students. Rosemary, thank you.
Hello, CPS Educators. We have been working all summer to design and get ready for the beginning of the year. We could not have done it without collaborating with other educators, such as principals, teachers, our newly formed partnerships with the University of Cincinnati and Bowling Green State University's graduate programs. Our grad students have partnered and done such amazing support work for us. We believe that all children, regardless of circumstances, should receive high quality, on grade level curriculum, instruction, and technology. And so it was important for us to clearly define what our call to action would be to get that vision visualized. Our call to action is broken into 3 components. The first component is to find new ways our students can see themselves and other cultures in their learning. The second is we must spend the vast amount of instructional time engaging our students in on-grade level work by prioritizing the mastery of critical work. The third is to address unfinished learning with precision, meaning just in time opposed to just in case. Like I said earlier, we've been designing tools and professional development to support you. The first is our accelerated learning model. The second is our Distinguished Educator program, which many have already leveled up to level 1 and 2 over the summer. And the third is our Schoology courses and templates.
Thank you, Emily. Due to the pandemic, a light is shining brightly on the inequities within our system. Because of this, we all understand that learning loss is inevitable during this time. The New Teacher Project states that a recent study predicted that students will experience a learning loss of 30% in reading and 50% in math as a result of the crisis. Because of this, our students cannot afford for us to go back to business as usual. In order to address these inequities head-on and ready our students for grade-level learning, we will focus on accelerating learning rather than remediating. Remediating could actually create more inequities for our students and increase their likelihood of not mastering grade-level content. The primary focus of remediation is mastering concepts of the past. Acceleration, on the other hand, strategically prepares students for success in the present, this week, on this content. Accelerating learning is about identifying the most critical prerequisite skills and content knowledge students will need to access grade-level content. Take a look at this graphic from the book Learning in the Fast Lane. It compares acceleration and remediation. As you can see, acceleration increases student self-confidence and engagement. Skills are hand-picked just in time for new concepts, and those skills are able to be applied immediately. And acceleration is active, fast-paced, and hands-on. Your curriculum and instruction team has put together a 4-step cyclical plan to support accelerating student learning in our Accelerated Learning Guide. The steps include the following. Step 1, setting the container or creating an environment that builds a community of equity and excellence. Step 2, identifying and planning to address unfinished teaching and unfinished learning. Step 3, engaging students in grade level instruction regardless of circumstances. And step 4, providing and collecting student feedback and monitoring student growth. These steps may not always happen in this order, and it is absolutely a continuous process. Remember, accelerating learning is addressing inequities head on, and it is about using just-in-time interventions, not just-in-case interventions, to advance student learning. Accelerating learning and strong instruction are interdependent, which leads us to number 2, the CPS Distinguished Educator program. Take it away, Rosemary.
It's my pleasure, Lanisha. This program was designed in response to educators' express need for more support transitioning to a blended learning approach. There are 4 stages of expertise for teachers to level up their practices. By August 21st, all CPS educators will achieve level 1 to indicate what they can do. By October 16th, CPS educators will achieve level 2 and put key components of practice into action. Beginning with building relationships first, we focus on content, pedagogy, and technology to promote equitable instruction in a blended learning environment. Educators have already been in our Office of Curriculum and Instruction course in Schoology, accessing the program and achieving levels 1 and 2 way ahead of the published deadlines. This focus on relationships, content, pedagogy, and technology has led to an invaluable partnership with the University of Cincinnati and Bowling Green State University. Teachers will now have Schoology templates and model lessons to pull directly into their courses. Professor Sarah Schroeder and Allison Godey lead teams of undergrad and graduate students who, alongside CPS teachers, apply best practices in online course design. These templates and model lessons can be found in our Cincinnati Public Schools resources in Schoology. The work they've done, 1, aligns to our CPS adopted curriculums, following our maps and guides, and translates the adopted curriculum into model Schoology lessons. 2, lessons are built using Universal Design for Learning, or UDL, a research-based approach offering student supports, proactively addressing barriers to learning. 3, these demonstrate student-centered, empathetic design principles. 4, the pre-K-12 templates provide a consistent experience for students and families and support flexible blended learning. The benefits of our teachers using these units and templates is impactful. 1, teachers save time not building online content from scratch. They can focus on instruction and building relationships and connections with their students and families. 2, these templates enhance learning in any context, face-to-face, part-time blended, or even in a fully remote environment. 3, the greatest benefit is that these empower our teachers to take ownership of their lessons. They are built with room to be personalized by teachers for the students in their classroom. The consistent UDL templates provide an opportunity for teachers to shine, make meaningful connections to their students' lives, and extend, enhance, or refine as needed. The CPS Distinguished Educator program and the new Schoology templates provide the support for transitioning to blended learning that our educators need. Together, we will accelerate learning.
What an amazing video. Every time I see it, it's just great work. So thank you, Rosemary and Lanisha, for that great video. So what is accelerated learning? Our operational definition is providing instructional strategies and interventions that advance the learning of students who have unfinished learning by identifying the most critical prerequisite skills that will allow students to perform at grade level. Acceleration is relevant and the skills are picked just in time for new concepts. Students are able to apply these skills immediately, so all students, and I just want to say that again, so all students have access to grade level work. So what does grade level work look like in our upcoming school year? Grade level work will be done through Schoology. So all of our students will have access to teaching and learning through Schoology courses. So why are we doing Schoology? And I hear some mute, I'm not sure what that is. So why are we doing Schoology? Our learnings from fourth quarter and the information and feedback from students, parents, and teachers and you all, that we need a common platform to support teaching and learning. We want all our students to share a similar learning experience throughout the district, regardless of their learning environment. And we want you all to have an opportunity to support your teachers and parents with common language and resources. So before we dive into the Schoology lesson, I just want to take another moment and remind us of our theme for today. If not us, who? And if not now, when?
Thank you, Dr. Don. I'm going to show you a high overview of a Schoology lesson. I'm going to call your attention to the design features embedded in all lessons. You'll be able to go in, play around, and navigate in more detail later on in the PD. As you can see on the screen, the lesson tabs are numbered at the top of each lesson in order for students to have an easy walkthrough. Each lesson also has a defined due date, so there is no confusion when assignments are due. Lessons also have an essential question embedded in the lesson. Whether this be a 2nd grade lesson or a 7th grade lesson, all ELA lessons will have an essential question that is embedded in the body of the lesson. Bridget?
Thank you, Karen. Within each of the Schoology lessons, students have the opportunity to use the purple button or the Read and Write Google Chrome extension. Let's take a look at this for the essential question. Rosemary, if you could highlight the quote by Amy Tan and have it read for our students. It's probably not reading it because you can't hear Rosemary's screen. It would read it within the purple button. We love it when technology happens. Similarly, within the essential questions, the Google Read and Write extension can also translate into different languages for students. Back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Bridget. There's also an embedded vocab study. This is an example of, again, our accelerated learning. It's vocabulary that helps students access the text that they will engage in during the lesson. Bridget?
Thank you. Within these vocabulary lessons, let's take a look at the purple button again. Popping this up, I'm going to ask Rosemary to hover over the vocabulary extension because that will show students definitions.
Step 1. Review and rank. Review the vocabulary you'll need to know for this lesson in your notebook section.
Well, we got it to read. So thank goodness for flexibility. You can also use the text button to show the definition of vocabulary. And the cool thing about the Read and Write extension is that this will give a visual as well. I really appreciate my co-pilots, Karen Clemens and Rosemary Jane. Karen, back to you.
Thank you, Bridget. Next, we will go back to look at the highlighted sections in yellow. Rosemary, please. The highlighted sections in yellow, there's a section that's highlighted that says to complete. These are highlighted items, thank you, Rosemary, that students need and must complete in their lesson. If you look at the screen,
a notebook or binder with paper and a pen or pencil, or access to Word, Google Docs, or another note-taking application.
Well, as you can see, it also will read the highlighted section in yellow as well. Thank you, Rosemary. Again, this section is highlighted. The students can look under these, it's numbered, and as it says under this completed section to open the Google slide, if they wanted to open a Google slide deck, the link to that is listed in here and they could click on that link. So it's very easily accessible for them. The closed reading section is also, the close reading section, I'm sorry, is also example of text and accelerated learning because it also provides support such as chunking of text, multiple reads. These are all great strategies that help with engaging student in their grade level work. Thank you, Rosemary.
Hi, everyone. One of the ways we're going to support you this year is through our Distinguished Educator program, as you saw in our video. The goal of our Distinguished Educator program is to familiarize teachers and staff with Schoology and other learning tech tools that they can use to create solid blended learning opportunities for students. As they progress through each of the 4 stages, they will demonstrate their ability to move seamlessly from online instruction to classroom instruction and vice versa. We'll be rolling out stage 3 later in the fall. We'll roll out stage 4, in the spring. We would like all of your teachers to complete stage 1 by August 21st. We'd like you to complete that too. We'd also like teachers to complete stage 2 by October 16th, stage 3 by May 27th, and we'll announce an end date for stage 4 next spring. If you have questions about the data on your teachers, our digital learning manager, Megan Safko-Preslin, can provide you with that information. Megan?
And then we are also doing, the curriculum and instruction team has paired up to each cluster to give you a more direct support. The CNI team has been divided amongst each cluster, so we will be joining in on cluster meetings to help support you in any way we can. A way to create a direct contact for any questions and support regarding not only the Distinguished Educator program, but many other things within the curriculum and instruction office.
Now we're going to go into a quick 5-minute break. You're going to hear a song list, and on that.
All right, welcome back for break. I enjoyed those musical selections. I don't know about you all, but I had a nice little concert going on over here by myself. We're headed into our next section, but before we do, I'd like to do a quick check-in just to see how you all are feeling today. This is an example of something a teacher might do. For example, if they have one class in the morning and one in the afternoon, in between classes, asking students what they've learned in the morning or how their day is going. This is also a great relationship builder, and it is an awesome way to take attendance. So if you look at your screen, you will be able to see the emojis, the how are you feeling today, and you should be able to click on how you are feeling today, and it will be put into a Google form, and then hit submit. Thank you, Rosemary.
Where is this found?
I dropped it in the chat for you as well, just to make it easy. Yes, as I've been navigating through the experiences for you, there's a button that says click to begin. And so the first item in that folder is the check-in. But I've dropped the link directly. If you're in the course, you can just go straight in. And then if you are done and waiting, you could always do one of these second, like the second option. I think we're getting ready to move on.
All right, thank you, Rosemary. Our next section is titled The Tale of Two Teachers. In this section, you will sharpen your skills at mitigating remediation in the classroom. You will read and annotate an article highlighting evidence of instructional strategies and inequitable instructions. You will discuss in your clusters how this will have how they will have conversations, or how you will have conversations with your teachers. At the end, there will be a whole group share out, and you will be directed to the resource folder to view question starters, scaffolds, and enrichment resources. Now, the directions are as follows. So you will be broken up into with your clusters. You will be paired with a manager. So Blaze's group will be with Sarah and Liz, those two managers. Brown's cluster will be with Bridget. Spencer's cluster will be with Dr. Izzy, and House's cluster will be with Dave. To access this, you need to click the button to the left that says Conferences, Start Conference. Please make sure that you are in the correct breakout session.
Can you tell me what we're supposed to be doing right now?
Yes, we should be joining the conference breakout for your DSL. So for example, if your DSL is Blaze, you would choose breakout 1 for Blaze, and then you'll get further instructions from the facilitator of your breakout session.
Are we joining by mic or audio, or does it matter?
You're going to want to join with microphone, and yeah, so that you can talk.
Microphone and camera, and you will exit this meeting. And what time are we coming back, Megan, or whoever?
Emily, I just want to let you know I clicked on your latest link and it said it's in privacy mode. I cannot. It says private access only. The privacy settings on this page you are trying to visit do not allow your access.
So if you could, in your course, in our CPS leadership, if you look on the left-hand panel, you can click directly on conferences. Try to navigate that way if you're having trouble. And I can show that again.
I got the same message.
Yeah. Hey, should it say not started? I went over there and clicked and it says just not started. I got there, but it says it hasn't started yet.
Which cluster are you in?
This is Dr. Spencer.
Okay. Dr. Spencer says in progress on the screen. Which one is saying not started?
Spencer.
So Spencer, someone started the session 2.
Okay. Can someone help me, please?
Whoever started session 2, you'll need to end that. Should be in breakout 1.
So when I go to Schoology, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. So when I go to Schoology, because I'm switching tabs back and forth. When I go to Schoology, you said I'm supposed to go to conferences?
Yep, if you go down to Schoology from your CPS leadership course, so you would need to be in there, and I did drop that in the chat. You would just look down on the far left and go to conferences. That should get you in.
Am I slow today? I'm sorry. Let me see.
We should only be in our breakout session 1. It looks like Brown's is launched. Lay's is launched. Whoever launched Brown's session 2, you need to exit that. House 1 is launched. And Spencer is now not listed.
Thank you. Because I sure don't see Dr. Spencer no more.
It disappeared. I don't know who did it. So there's a lot of, so this is a really great example of when there's multiple co-administrators of a course. I can launch one, but I just don't know if somebody's in the background doing it.
Rosemary, this is Whitney Simmons. I'm in Manisha House's cluster, and when I click on conferences, it says no longer information was received.
I can show how it should work from my end, but I can't go into each one of them. So like I'm going to go into House's conference. And it looks like they have joined. I'm going to go listen only so we don't get too much feedback. It does look like they are in and sharing the documents. So House cluster is underway. So I just need to hear from this team who's having trouble accessing their conference.
Hey, I was having that same issue with the that error message, and I was on Safari, like my internet browser, and I switched to Chrome, and I was able to get in.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't have time at the beginning to orient you, but we definitely always recommend we are using the Chrome browser. Sign in and sync is on because our Schoology platform authenticates with Google.
This is Dr. Spencer. I'm on Chrome. I go to the leadership section. I click on conferences. And when I click on that, I am getting the same message that says private access only.
Do you see the last link at the bottom that says Spencer Cluster Breakout 1?
I do not. All I see is a message that says private access only. The privacy settings on this page you're trying to visit do not allow you access.
Dr. Spencer, could you try to go to your courses and make sure you're at the landing page of CPS Leadership? Just trying to troubleshoot with you. Follow along on my screen. If you go down to conferences from that main landing page, you should not have that error. I apologize.
Do you have the leadership course number to join?
Is Dr. Spencer not in this course? Because that could be the issue.
Can you give us that course number again?
Of course, and I will show you how to join it as well for those of you who weren't in yet. So
Right now,
the join code to the chat. Please go up to the top to courses. You will select on the upper right, My Courses. Under My Courses, there is Join a Course as an option. You'll select that, and you will copy and paste that join code in here. When you click join, it will tell you that you've been added. It will give me an error because I'm already in. But you should, anybody who's on the call who did not join, that would be
That would be the issue. Because it will not let you in if you're not a member.
Hi, Rosemary. This is Stacy. I'm in Dr. Brown's.
Dr. Brown's is launched and active, and they're in progress.
So how do I get there?
So again, and I do have to dip into check because I'm supposed to be in my breakout. Is there anybody else from LTT or CNI on this line that can assist right now? Can somebody go into Dave's session for Monisha House and let them know I'm not making it in? All right, from our CPS leadership course, if you are joined, on the far left panel is Schoology conferences. You can launch that. Dr. Spencer's cluster is in progress.
Are you saying go back to the original?
I don't know what you mean by the original, just in the course. I'll drop the link again.
This is Dr. Spencer. It asked me for permission. I had to ask for permission to get in. I clicked on it. I now see conferences that say DSL Spencer Cluster Breakout today. And it says to the right, not started.
So
I don't know if someone needs to grant me access.
At the bottom, Spencer Cluster Breakout 1, for me, it's viewing at the bottom. I would be happy to troubleshoot this type of thing with you one-on-one later, but right now it says that it's active. So if I click on it, this is what you should see. And it does look like your cluster is presenting right now.
Okay.
I'm with you, boss. I'm not in, but I'm with the boss in my cluster because I can't get in either.
I see where this is, but I cannot get in. I'm sorry.
You just click on the blue, so right here. So click on the name.
Rosemary, we're not getting to that point. That's the problem. We're not getting to that point, Rosemary.
And I think you guys are making some assumptions that it's easy. Everybody can't, I can't get in. So
Okay, so I'm sharing this part of the screen just to make sure that you see this link here. I added that link. As long as you're a member of the course, it should have landed you on this page.
Correct, over to that page.
Great. So then if you look down below the course icon, down to conferences, let me know if you're there.
Okay, go to the course icon.
But just scroll down below it.
Is that where do we get that out of the
We didn't get it from anywhere. We're just in the course right now, and I'm just scrolling down. So I'm zooming so you can see it. It's conferences right there in the middle, right here. It's several links down. Materials, updates, gradebook, grade setup, all sorts of stuff, but go to conferences.
It's the 11th link.
Where do we get that from, Jason? Do we get that from, how do we get in that? It's my question.
So you just click it. You just click it.
I clicked it and I'm not in either. It says, mine says start time July 30th at 3:15 p.m. and then it says to the right, not started. So, and there's nothing to click. It says active. There's nothing for me to click.
Right.
So you do not have the screen that is showing on this Google meeting.
No, we do not.
That's what we're trying to get you to
understand. No login information was received.
There's none.
Yeah, we're not getting it, Rosemary.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to check in with mine, and then we are going to troubleshoot together.
Read and write text help.
Administrators, thank you for your patience. We have one more breakout at the end of our professional learning session today. So if you missed this one, no worries. We'll make sure that you can get in the next one.
Do you want to use your mouse on your page to click
but thank
to
you
show
for your
everybody
patience.
where that read?
Clusterfuck.
So I'm going to exit this. And I'm going to stay here with you guys until we get this at least figured out or understood. Just checking if there's anybody from my team still on the line, curriculum and instruction or learning technologies team. Or did they like
Yes,
dissolve?
Rosemary. I'm here, Rosemary.
Hi, Dawn. All right. So
I'm
Dawn,
here,
would,
Rosemary.
great, thank you. Would one of you try to assist with,
if you see an inequitable practice.
if you are in a session, if you could mute yourself, let's take a look down at the, okay, if you're not a member, hold on just 1 second, I dropped that earlier. There it is. That is the access code. And I am more than happy to go through the steps with you for how to join again. So at the top of your screen, if you click on courses, you're going over to the little blue hyperlink on the far right. I'll zoom in for that for you, to My Courses. We are going to, under Manage Courses on the left, or excuse me, on the right, we are going to click on Join a Course. And I am going to just grab that code, and I'm going to copy it. And then we paste that code right here. And I do want to apologize. We did our very best to make sure everybody was in the course this past week. And sent out an email yesterday, so this definitely wasn't the intention for you to have to join the course today. So thanks for your patience. If you're not in yet, we'll make sure you get in today. Is there anybody else on the call who did not join the course yet or is not a member?
I'm still not on. I'm still getting that in progress now. Spencer,
Does it work you if you are
please.
This is Stacy Hill-Simmons.
not a member of course?
Stacy, do you see at the top of your page, because I was having the same issues you were, all of a sudden something popped up like a, where it was blocking you and it said, I'm not enrolled. It said Dr. Spencer is not enrolled in a course. And then it said enroll.
So the main link, I've just dropped that now above. I'll drop it again. The main link to Schoology. Okay, so if you're not in, we're going to go from the main link. So that is your login landing page. Now, again, if you are using Chrome, it's going to work best. If for some reason you were not logged in, I'm going to log out and show you. You would need to, when I drop that link, this is what it will bring you. Choose an account to log in, or it will be a field where you enter your email address. Because I am signed in and syncing, I don't have to enter that.
Rosemary, Miss Stacy Hill-Simmons had a question.
I'm stuck. I don't know. I see welcome back principles, but I don't, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. So for added fun, somebody changed my settings and I had things queued up. So I'm going to have to go on and get with my team.
What?
So now
Stacy, they must have did something to allow it, because before it was telling me it had private access only, and I was not authorized to see it. And then then my screen changed, and it said there was a yellowish button at the top, right in the center of the screen that said enroll in course. I clicked that, and then the link changed from not started to in progress. So I was able to. But they must have changed something to allow me access, because I had it said private access and I had no authorization.
So Jason, I am actually sending you a picture of what I see.
Okay. In the chat?
Yes.
Because I followed the steps just the way they said it, but it was denying me access. And then
Karen,
something
I'm going to have
changed.
to go out and refresh to restart. So I'm going to hop right back into you guys. Okay. Karen, I'm going to hop out.
Stacy, you can also share your screen since there doesn't seem to be as many people in here right now, and we're all seem to have the same problem. If you want to click share your screen at the bottom, we could all see it.
Dr. Spencer, when I went back,
Go ahead. You're choppy. I'm getting like robotic, and it's like just sounds. I can't really understand.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and share my screen and see if you guys can see mine, because it sounds like I was having the same issue as you guys, but then something changed.
I think these are different approaches because there's no clear delineation that a new teacher has started.
All right, my screen should be popping up when you see this?
And Dr. Spencer, while you are supporting everyone who is having a problem with their Schoology, can you please put your name in the chat and just put Schoology next to it so that we can make sure that you have access to everything you need to support your buildings? Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Spencer.
No, you're fine. Thank you. Can everyone see my screen that needs help?
I apologize. So I apologize, everyone. I could direct you. Dr. Spencer, thank you for sharing your screen. I can help direct.
Rosemary,
Yes?
please let Dr. Spencer finish real quick and then jump in. Thank you.
Stacy, you there? Belinda, you there? I can't.
Go ahead, Dr. Spencer.
I'm not sure if they can hear me anymore. I didn't get a response.
I'm sorry, Jason. I can't hear you. I'm trying to text with Doc. What I see is welcome back principals, curriculum and instruction is Office of Curriculum and Instruction, curriculum director, Miss Emily Campbell. But then what do I do?
Okay, down here on the left side, you see my page moving?
Let's see.
There on the left side, see my cursor?
On the left side, I see.
There are 11. Well, go down to the 11th link. It says conferences. It's not very big and it's kind of gray.
I see people 11th link. Join us tomorrow for engaging professional development. Megan Moore. These are people's comments. It looks like.
No, go on the.
Okay, we're not. That's the wrong course.
Okay, so
I click on courses at the top.
Courses. I see.
Dr. Spencer, this is still not the right course. That's the problem.
Okay. I see courses. I see digital citizen, Team Evanston, CPS leadership. Is that where I should be? DSL section 1, PD.
So Dr. Spencer, you were not in the right course. You were not joined in that course. I could see that on your screen.
No, I was trying to get her to the course. I'm fine now. Go ahead.
I'm not fine. I think Jason was trying to get me there. I'm fine with whomever can get me there. Right now. I went to courses at the top. Courses pulls down. CPS leadership, DSL, principal PD, Office of Curriculum. So is that where I should be? Is this the right place to be or no?
So can anyone share the feedback that they would give either of the teachers?
Huh?
Somebody has their side unmuted and they're in one of the breakout sessions.
Okay. Okay, so it starts with digital citizenship K through 6. Is this the wrong place to be or?
So I can't see nobody is presenting right now. And unfortunately, because my admin rights have been removed, I cannot navigate this for you. If somebody wants to share, Dr. Spencer was sharing a moment ago, but he was not enrolled in the course. So I'd be more than happy to help if somebody wants to share their screen.
Rosemary, I was trying to share and I kind of kept getting cut off there. So I stopped sharing because I was trying to get her from the beginning to the way that I ended up in the course.
Right. Can you start with that, Jason? Because I think we had the same situation.
All right, I was following Rosemary's directions word for word. And like I mentioned earlier, Stacy, I was getting denied, but something changed. Somebody must have gave me access.
Right.
And I was able to get in. So here's what, if you can see my screen, this is what.
I don't even see your screen anymore.
Okay. Do you see, what do you see?
That's what I was going to tell you. Home Schoology page is what I have. Welcome back principals, curriculum and instruction. I see some people waving and smiling. At the top of it, recent activity course dashboard, update, assignments, events. And then it says Rosemary James.
Okay. It sounds like you're on the main recent activity page.
Yes, sir.
All right. At the top, besides Cincinnati Public Schools, you should see a link that says courses.
I do.
Click courses.
When I click.
What pops up on mine is Office of Curriculum and Instruction.
No. What pops up on mine is digital citizenship. It says courses and there's a bunch of them.
I only see one. So
your view is customized to what courses you're in, so you're not going to see the same thing.
Okay, so I have Office of Curriculum Instruction, and that's what I clicked on to gain.
Sir, Mr. Spencer, I'm sorry, but that's not the right course. So if you could just go back there to courses, please, and click on My Courses in the upper right.
I did.
And then you'll need to join the course, sir. Join a course. And then you'll need to input that join code that I added to the chat.
Which course should I enter, Rosemary?
So we should be entering the CPS leadership.
I see it.
Yeah, so you enter that one.
Okay, I'm entering that one. And then when I do, it says update for all staff, students, and connected families. Is that where I should be?
I can't see your screen, ma'am. I'm sorry. Let's have Dr. Spencer open his now. He's in the right course now. You can click section 1, Dr. Spencer, or Mr. Spencer, right under there. Thank you.
Hey, Rosemary, it's 10:40, so it's time to move on to our break as you're walking people through.
Okay.
So everybody is
Rosemary, I was here.
break.
Oh, okay.
So as everybody is returning for break, we want to make sure everybody can get back to the Google Meet, get up and move around, and we'll have our next amazing playlist for you to guess whose playlist is this. But let's just make sure everybody can get back to the Google Meet.
How do we do that, baby?
You are here.
Okay, this is the Google Meet?
Yes, you are here.
Because I have gone nowhere. Amen, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Rosemary.
Yes.
Right.
I know you said I was in the wrong spot, but earlier, can you still see my screen?
Let me check. Yes, sir.
Earlier, I could see this Spencer cluster breakout. That's the only one I could see. And since I went back and enrolled in the course that you told me to, the only thing that's changed is it changed to Brown, Blaze, House, and House. I could see my own cluster, but I couldn't see the others. So now I can see them all.
I have a feeling it's because there was a placeholder in the other course, but I can't verify it until someone puts my administrative rights back on. So I can't get into anything now to help you troubleshoot. I'm sorry, but what you're saying now is correct.
So as we wait for others to come back and for this group, the family to kind of stay and we tried to troubleshoot, let's give them like one more minute for everybody to come back before we go to break.
Hey, guys.
Hey, lady, I can't see your beautiful face.
You gotta see me. I got on a cute outfit. Hold on. Let me give me up.
Miss Hill Simmons, is it pink?
Girl, no. pink.
No pink. No pink over here. No pink over here.
Kelly. Now you see my outfit?
Yes, you are beautiful. Your name was beautiful, lady. Yes, I did. Is it still up there? So as everybody returns real quick before we go to break, I just want to say that grace and mercy, and we kind of struggle, but as we know, productive struggle is good. So as our students struggle with this new navigation, now we can kind of feel some of the experiences that they will have. So please provide them grace and mercy. And also for our curriculum and instruction team, this was new for us. So we had two choices. We could say, we don't want to present this to the administrators because we're not 100% confident. Or we could just, press through and try something new because we all teach and we all learn. So for our teachers, administrators, students, and families, we said we're going to press through and we're going to try something new. We're going to bring you something new. And yes, we struggled a little bit, but struggle is okay because every time after that, we'll get better. And if we would have not brought you this today, we wouldn't have been growing. So I just wanted to share that with you all as you go to break. Thank you.
All right, if you're ready, I'm going to start the break.
And again, it's just like last time. As the songs play, please number them and put your response in the chat.
So welcome back, administrators. I think we have the majority as everybody comes back, gets settled in. I want to take this time again to apologize for those administrators who did not get an opportunity to jump into the meetups, but you'll get another opportunity in a couple of minutes. And I also want to take a moment to kind of summarize for those that had an opportunity to get in the meetup and those that did not. So there were two big ideas from the meetup. And again, this was about the tale of two teachers. And so the context was, the scenario is something that you may see when you go in the classroom or visit a classroom now virtually. And so we went into the meetups and you were reading the scenarios that you would see in real time. And you had to read an excerpt from the scenario, highlight those instructional practices that support accelerated learning and those instructional practices that do not, based on our learnings from earlier today. The other part of that was to model how students and teachers can interact in small groups within their Schoology courses. And one of the learnings that we've had that we really need to make sure that teachers work with their students to be able to transfer from one tab of Schoology maybe to another tab of a Google Meet. So just like we had a little productive struggle, we need to make sure that we support our teachers with being able to finesse that. And again, we are here to support you with that. The other part that we wanted to model in those small groups was the tools that teachers can use when they're in a small group. So yes, there's a lot of discourse, but there's some tools to make it engaging for our students so they are excited and they want to lean into the assignment in the small groups. So thumbs up if you kind of get it, even if you didn't experience it. See some thumbs up. Did you? Thank you, Mr. Williams, Mr. Porter, Mr. Gray. Can I get those? Those are the only ones I could see. So thank you as we move to our next session.
Dr. Dunn, I just want to shout out real quick to the leaders in my section for being there with me, all teach, all learn, trying to, all of us working together to try to get the breakout working as it should. So thank you to all of you.
Yeah, same, Sarah Morales. I think everybody who experienced a breakout experienced some of the flexibility that our educators will have to demonstrate, and you guys were troopers in sticking it in there with us.
All right, thanks guys. So again, thank you, Dr. Williams, for the summary of the session. And again, hopefully you enjoyed that music and your little break and guessing which DSL rocks out to this music in the spare time that they have. So now that was an example of a synchronous lesson or live lesson or teacher-led lesson, whatever. We can use any of the terminology interchangeably. So now for the next 30 minutes, you are going to immerse yourselves into an asynchronous lesson or self-directed lesson. So again, the expectation for teachers is that they're going to provide live sessions or synchronous sessions for our students. And they're also going to provide self-directed work for students, all of this being through the Schoology lessons that are being uploaded for them. But one thing we also want to model during this is that although a student is working on an asynchronous or self-directed lesson, we still should be supporting them through office hours, small group sessions, or individual sessions. So we're going to model what a small group session would look like during an asynchronous lesson. So at this point, you should still have 2 tabs open. So you have your Google Meet open, and you also have your Schoology course open. So the lesson that you are going to explore, it is an ELA lesson, but it's also a social justice lesson. So as we keep referring to, if not now, when? If not us, who? And I think we've all taken on the charge and the mission to do it now, and we are going to be the ones to do it. So as you can see, we have our grade level standards as well as our social justice standards. You'll see this lesson also aligns to us working towards our students being world influencers, as our wonderful superintendent says. And you'll see a lot more of the connections as you dive into the lesson. So right now, you're going to go to your Schoology tab. And you should see, Rosemary's going to model it, but if you scroll down, you'll see it says, if not now, when? If not us, who? And just to make sure you get there, Rosemary's going to show it on the screen. And so again, an asynchronous lesson is a lesson that you will work on independently. I'm going to ask you to join, and please write this down or put it in the chat. Please join your group session. We're going to practice that again, but we're not going to use conferences this time. We're going to set up a Google Meet link for you. Remember, all teach, all learn. So again, what you're doing next, you are going to work through this lesson the same way a student would. So if it says review the checklist, look at the jump start, watch the video, respond to the discussion board, this is the same way a student would navigate a lesson. And once you get to the assessment, do not complete it. Report to your breakout session at 11:15.
Lanisha, would you please describe a click-through of how you got to that lesson?
Yes, Rosemary. Could you pull the screen back up? So you have a few ways you can get there. One, you have your home base. So you have that home base where you have all of the pictures. I don't think Rosemary can pull it up, but if you know the home base, yeah.
It's in now. All right. Okay. So from your home base, you can actually launch it directly from the home base and click on if not now, when, if not us, who. The embedded content is also right here as well. Oh, sorry, that's Tale of Two Teachers, sorry. If not now, when, if not us, who. And you can just click this button to begin your work in the folder. So this is the asynchronous part that Lanisha referred to. So again, you just click the button right below, like to begin your work. And that will take you into the folder.
Yes, thank you, Rosemary.
We are about to publish new links instead of the other one.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Rosemary. And that was a perfect question and a reminder. And administrators, please actually complete the lesson. So watch the video, do the discussion board, and at 11:15, you will report to your group session, which we'll provide you the link for within your cluster, and you'll have a discussion. And again, it's modeling again what students will see as they navigate through a Schoology lesson, and then how teachers should still provide support even though students are working on self-directed lessons. All right, so please go ahead and go to your Schoology tab. You can mute your camera and mute your mic on this screen until you join your group session. Please let us know if you have any questions as you go over to your Schoology tab.
Has the group session for Ms. House been put up yet?
We're gonna make sure that's up by 11:15.
If you look at David Traubert, he's already put the link there.
Perfect.
And I'm changing the link in your Schoology assignment.
Thank you.
This is how we do a quick pivot.
Now, how do I get back to the Schoology tab without getting rid of the video that I'm looking at right now?
Are you in Chrome where you can kind of add another tab to have multiple tabs open?
Yeah, I can. So if I add another tab, where am I accessing Schoology?
Can we put a Schoology link in the chat to make sure we're in? Or let me see if I can grab mine real quick.
Normally, where would it be?
To just access Schoology in general?
Well, if I were in a tab like this, would it be in my browser? Would it be in my my browser, my Schoology with all the dots?
So the teacher, if the teacher is leading a session, kind of like we did, the teacher might put it in the Google chat. During the first week, the teacher might have students save it as a bookmark, so it's always on their main screen. I know students can also access it through Clever, so that's something that a teacher would definitely want to walk through with students, during that opening week, is the ways they can access Schoology.
Okay, so I can go through Clever as opposed to the link that I had before.
Right. And then I would recommend just saving it as a bookmark too once you get in, since we're going to be in Schoology a lot this year.
And this is Dr. Spencer. I clicked on my link. Should there be more people than 3 in the meeting?
Well, we're not in the meeting yet. We're going to join the meeting at 11:15. Right now, you're going to work on the assignment individually on your own.
When I pull up your Office of Curriculum and Instruction, I'm just seeing Curriculum Instruction Weekly Update. I'm not seeing what.
So you should be in the CPS Leadership section. So that's it's a different course.
Click on Materials on the left.
Materials, okay.
Yep, and then from Materials, you'll see the Principal PD for August 4th. Click there. And then from there, you should be able to find what we're looking for.
I'm not seeing anything different under there. Materials. Curriculum Instruction website?
No. There's
There's actually, Mark, 2 different courses. So the Office of Curriculum and Instruction is one Schoology course. The Schoology course where all of the materials are housed for this and future principal meetings is in the CPS Leadership course.
Oh.
So Jason, start at the top on the blue toolbar, go up to courses. Click on courses, you'll see a drop-down list. And on the far, if you cannot see CPS Leadership in your tiles there, it's a bunch of people in the picture. If you can't see it there, on the top right, click on My Courses. And then that's an alphabetical list of your current courses. That helpful?
And if you do not have that course listed, then do we have to add it somehow?
Yes, so you can join it with a course code. So under that same My Courses tab on the far right, you'll see a Join Courses link. I'm going to put the access code in our chat here in the Google Meet. So you'll click that button, Join Courses, and you'll copy and paste this access code.
I'm on here. I don't see My Courses.
Hey, how do I mute you guys and then still listen to my course and keep the tab open without going out? Because you guys said just open a new tab. Like,
If you right click on the tab, you can mute this tab. Although I will say that when I tried to do that in our last breakout session, I could still hear this meeting even after I closed the window. So,
well, I can close the window, but I want to make sure that is someone on your team going to download any of the questions from the chat or anything? Because somebody asked me if I would be able to do that, but if I close out and come back in, it will not show you the previous chat. So is someone from your team downloading the chat?
Yes, that's part of the recording that we're doing. Absolutely.
All right, cool. I'll just close it out. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
So someone asked about getting to My Courses. Rosemary, could you walk through that really quickly? Go to Courses and then My Courses.
When are we coming back?
Okay, I'm going to unmute so I can give you a little guidance. A moment.
When are we due to come back again? 11:15.
So you were going to go into your breakout session at 11:15, correct, Lanisha? Breakout session at 11:15.
Yes, breakout session at 11:15 to the
What's the access code
link for that? You said.
Yes, right now they're being added to the chat, and Rosemary's updating them in Schoology.
I have not been able to update them in Schoology because I've been troubleshooting with people.
Okay, we'll repost in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. For now, that would help, and then I will try to get it in Schoology. The last question that I was asked is how to join the course. So again, when you are at schoology.cps-k12.org, when you first log in, and you go to courses at the top, to the far right, let me zoom back out, there's a small blue hyperlink that says My Courses. This is how we join an additional course. Click on My Courses. And then if you look to the right panel, there is a tab called, or a panel called Manage Courses, and you're going to click on Join a Course and enter the access code that Kimberly posted.
Okay, let me go back. Okay.
Yep. Then when you enter that access code, you will be in that course. So you just want to make sure as we continue doing our work today that you are in CPS Leadership course. Office of Curriculum Instruction is a different course. So we are working in our CPS Leadership course. And the current activity that we are on is If Not Now, When? If Not Us, Who? So you are asynchronous for the beginning, and at 11:15, you are joining your breakout Google Meet. Did I hit that all right, Lanisha?
You guys, you didn't put the access code in the chat?
Hey, we got to call you back. Okay. All right.
Did anybody put the access code in yet?
Yes, I just posted it again. I thought I did. Hold on, let me grab it. There you go.
Rosemary, all of the Google Meet links are in the chat, correct? I can't hear you. You're fine.
Yes, I just added them all to the chat, and I'm going to add them one more time because they look like they had a little jumbled. So my apologies.
All right.
It's Brown, then oh gosh, I think copy wall. I'm going to put it in the Schoology course as well.
Thank you, Rosemary. You're doing awesome with all of these competing requests. We appreciate you so much.
Thanks. I'm trying to answer them all at once, so there's other meetings talking to me too.
You're
You're
doing
fine.
great.
I'm trying to look at the chat to keep that up to date.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rosemary, can I ask you a question?
I want to answer you, but I'm trying to get it set for everybody else, and then I will.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Dorothy, did you have a question?
Yes, I'm
I
kind
don't
of
know if I can answer it, but I'll certainly try.
Oh, thank you. I'm behind because I've been trying to get into Schoology, and I was just able to join the course, and I'm in, but I'm not sure what I need to hit next to get to where everybody else is.
Okay, whose cluster are you in?
You know what? I think I'm in Miss House's.
Okay, if you look in the chat, go to the chat, and if you look in the chat, Rosemary so kindly copied the links for all the clusters, the Google Meet, and look for Manisha's name, and then click on that link, and it'll take you to her Google Meet.
Okay.
Do you see it?
I did, and I just clicked.
Okay, it should take you. Rosemary, she can't be in 2 Google Meets at once, right?
She will have sound interference issues, so she should open that link and then exit this call, ideally.
Okay, so once you open that link, exit this call, and we're coming back here at what time? At 11:20, we're coming back here. So click on the link for House's Meet in the chat, and then go exit out of here, and then just come back to this meet at 11:20. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, and I think I'm in. So once I get out of this one,
yes,
then I'll come back
Here,
11:20.
yep, you'll come back to this chat you're in. We're talking in now. You'll come back at 11:20, but you can't be in two at once. So click out of here and go to that one, then come back at 11:20.
I'm
Okay.
also just about to load it to Schoology too, so I will
Okay.
post it as an update as well. Sorry for the technical
Did
issue.
that help?
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Oops.
So, are we supposed to be in our breakout groups at this time after finishing the assignment?
At 11:45.
11:15. Yes, you can
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry. At 11:15. My
Oh,
bad.
we go because no one's in there yet. I went to session 1, and all I'm seeing is a big blue dot.
Yep, I'm gonna delete those. Don't go in there.
Yeah,
I'm deleting them now.
Because of our little technical difficulties earlier, we put some Google Meet links in this Google chat. So if you go to the Google chat, you'll see Brown, Spencer, House, Blaze, and you can click on that link.
Okay.
There's one in progress, so I don't want to delete somebody in progress, guys. I'm not gonna do that.
That's fine with Mary.
That was morning. I can end that.
Conferences. As the teacher, will you be able to monitor them? Did anybody have that question when they were in
Whoever is in where
monitoring?
Chief Albert is speaking, if you could please exit this call or mute yourself.
And that is a feature. So as an administrator of a course, you can go into any of the conferences at any time. You can drop in on them just like you would do if you had small groups work.
Thank you. All right, it has been corrected. Well, not corrected, but updated. Quick pivot. We took a quick pivot, and so in this folder for your work now, the link in assessment is correct by cluster. They are Google Meetings. So you can launch those by your cluster. And I'm going to bump up the font because those are really little. No, if you also just go to Google Meet, you can enter Blaze cluster, Brown cluster, House cluster, or Spencer cluster as one word, and that will take you straight in. I will demonstrate that real quick. If you just go to Google Meet, you can click Join or Start, and you could type in House cluster, or Brown, Blaze, or Spencer. Click Enter. And you'll see that the rest of your cohort is in that call or coming into it now.
So where do I find the cluster? Brown cluster?
So it is 11:19 now, so we do want to go into our separate clusters. So you can either use the Google the chat here, or you can go into the one that I posted right in here. Excuse me, this one. I'm going to copy them into the chat. Whatever is easiest for you. They're listed in the chat, or you can access them in Schoology through your asynchronous activity. And then, Lanisha, what time do we come back to this section?
So breakout session would have been from 11:15 until 11:20. Then they would have their 5-minute break until 11:25.
Okay. Dean is asking to direct people back at 11:30.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's adjust.
Is this Blaze Cluster? I thought I was with Blaze Cluster. Hi, Blaze Cluster. I thought maybe not.
This is better than a break, y'all. This is better than that break fun. This is too funny.
Okay. I thought Dean said this was her cluster. Oh, why, oh, why, oh, why. Okay. Okay, hold on.
Minutes is first of all to talk about what features of accelerated learning were called out in that lesson. So just as an example,
make sure you mute your screen if you are in a breakout. For those who are here, can you mute, if you joined the breakout, can you mute this tab? I think, Pia, can you mute your, or don't, okay. Okay, no more feedback. So for those who are still here, and you want,
I don't know where we are. It seems like the matrix is a little easier to navigate. But I think what we're all experiencing right now is exactly what they were discussing at the board meeting last night, is that while we do want to start accelerated learning right away and get into that grade level content, we do need to take the time to teach our students to use the tools effectively as part of that orientation that they spoke to. So I think as our teachers will have to be, we're flexible with our learning outcomes right now, because the main learning outcome is that we're able to be here together, connect with each other, figure out how the tools work so we can really launch into the learning that we need to do. And just being flexible and pivoting along the way. That's the only way we're going to make it through this school year. The question, for those of you who had the chance, and I hope most of you had the chance to really look at that Schoology lesson content that was both ELA and social justice standards aligned. Can anyone come off mute and share an example of something that they noticed that addressed unfinished learning just in time? No wrong answers. What do you think? So think about what built background for students without reteaching everything they possibly could have retaught. Yes, I'm seeing in the chat the video. That's a perfect example, right? Of course we want, and the pictures, we want our students to know about the entire civil rights movement. And we know that that is an important part of history, but we want to get them into that history through today's lesson objectives, right? So they used pictures, the building background video, things that were brief, but really connected students, in this case you all, to that lesson. If you did not have your entire unit on that last year in history class, or unfortunately the way our state standards are set up, maybe never, but we want to make sure that that content, you have the background that you need to access it right now in today's grade level lesson. So the video and the pictures were a great tool that was used to address that unfinished learning and provide that scaffold also with visuals for our students. Anything else that anybody wanted to call out from our accelerated learning model that they could see in that lesson? Yes. Excellent. From the chat, Caitlin had multiple means of ways that students could engage with the lesson. So when it comes time for the assessment, there were multiple ways the students could choose some ways to share what they had learned about the lesson. Another one that I noticed was the clear tie to the learning objective that came up multiple times. So I know you all didn't have to do the assessment, and we're going to head back in just a minute. Does anybody want to shout out or put in the chat an example of some technology or format that you might have used to do that assessment if you were a student? Thank you, Pia. Also, the vocabulary was listed there, pre-teaching the vocabulary. What kind of tools could students use to submit those assessments?
To omit those assessments?
So Flipgrid, Screencastify, Google Docs, Google Sheets, lots of different formats to share that information. Thank you all. We're going to step back to the large session now. I know Dr. Blaze requested that we get a little extra time to debrief about this here, since we're still pivoting left and right with all of the technology issues we're encountering, but it is about time to head back to the main session. And so I'm guessing that means that we will not be adjourning on time at 11:30, but maybe extending for 10 or 15 minutes after. So I'm gonna put the nickname for the main session in our chat here. So I will see you all back over there.
This, you guys can do the orientation.
It's not a hyperlink.
So Ashley put the hyperlink, and if that's not working, I put the nickname. So whenever you have a nickname, you can just go to Google Meet, start a meeting, and you type in that nickname, and it'll connect you to it.
Gotcha.
Okay?
What's the nickname again, Emily or Bridget?
The nickname to the Google Meet for the main piece?
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh, you were talking. Never mind. I thought you were talking about.
Okay. I was like, you put me on the spot there, Mr. Teacher.
Sorry about that.
And then there's some questions going on in the chat, and Megan's answering them about chatting individuals in Google Meet that I was going to answer. Got distracted for a minute.
So welcome back as everybody transitions back.
Back to work.
Welcome back. Maybe one more minute. Please make sure you return back to the whole group. So welcome back. What an experience. I want to remind everybody, all teach, all learn. And the road at the beginning is a little bumpy with a couple of hiccups, but we can do it. I also want to remind you, if not now, when, and if not us, who. So even though the ride is a little bumpy, we just have to remember we don't have a choice at this point. We just got to press through. I think Taylor Porter on his Twitter, I don't know if he's there, he had a saying that you said today about pressing through. Mr. Porter, can you share? I hate to put you on the spot, what you said about
any problem.
Not press, you know what I'm talking about? Please share. We need some inspiration. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
All right, good morning. Microphone check. I had to shut down my other screen so the feedback doesn't happen so much. I put a lot of things on Twitter, but I think what you're referring to is, you know, you can choose. You either go through it or you grow through it.
Yep.
And so I've decided to be excited and grow through all of the history that we're about to make as educators. So thank you, Don.
And thank you, Mr. Porter. So I just want to say that again. We can say it one more time, Mr. Porter, because that's going to be my little theme song for the rest of the school year. So say it one more time.
Two choices. You can go through it or you can grow through it.
Thank you. And that's what we are doing today. We are growing through it. And we don't have a choice. Our buildings, our staff, our teachers, and our students really need us more than ever. So just a quick wrap up of our experience we just had. This was an asynchronous or student-led lesson. What we really wanted to highlight was the intersectionality between ELA and social justice. And if you are not aware, there are social justice standards. If you go to Teaching for Tolerance website, we also wanted to highlight our call to action. In this particular lesson, all three of them were embedded in the lesson. So students were able to see themselves in the lesson. They were accessing grade level content, and we addressed unfinished learning. So one of the learnings from this section was that we practiced with you today about going from Google Meet to Schoology to small groups and conferencing. So we encourage you to practice with your teachers and also encourage your teachers to practice with their students. Thank you. And again, if not now, when? If not us. I think we're going to skip through our break to appreciate your time. And we're going to talk about accelerated learning, our mission for the year. And I know today was a lot. We talked about accelerated learning. The video we shared talked about what is the difference between accelerated learning and the word that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, remediation. So in our department, anytime somebody says remediation, they look at me for the response on my face. We also talked about accelerated learning and remediation in our meetups. We increased our learnings about student engagement. And so now we know what accelerated learning is, but how do we put this into practice? So we're going to talk about our accelerated learning guide and the 4 components.
Thank you, Dr. Don. Our first component for accelerated learning infographic is setting the container for building a community of equity and excellence. The components of these are high expectations, warm demander, culturally responsive teaching, and SEL competencies. The accelerated learning infographic talks about the asset-based feedback, which we discussed earlier and you all discussed in your breakouts, along with the culturally responsive teaching. The warm demander portion is super important. It talks about the check-in, as we did earlier when I stopped in our sessions and to check in to see how you all were doing. That's a quick response that you can get from students before you proceed into a lesson. Again, this is a great tool for providing feedback in small group sessions so you can get the test and see how the students are doing and how they are feeling that day.
And component number 2 of our accelerated learning guide is to identify and plan to address unfinished teaching and unfinished learning. So where did you see that today? You saw that in our pre-assessment where we posed the question in our rapid fire chat, what is accelerated learning? So we were able to quickly gauge where you all are when it comes to accelerated learning. You also saw us addressing unfinished learning in both model lessons. So in the 7th grade lesson, you saw it being addressed in the embedded vocabulary. So vocabulary that is actually relevant to the students accessing the grade level work. And you also saw it in the social justice lesson, where rather than teaching the entire civil rights history, we kind of summed it up in 2 minutes in order for students to access that particular lesson and the standards of that lesson. And of course, always amplifying student strengths. So in the assessment of the social justice lesson, students were able to choose the method of which they felt the most comfortable in showing their understanding for that particular lesson. Component number 3.
Thanks, Lanisha. Our third component is to engage students in grade level instruction regardless of circumstances. We have had adopted curriculum for some subject areas for several years. We continue to add to those. We have our curriculum maps and guides. But in this unprecedented situation, all students weren't able to access that in the spring due to all the discrepancies. Now we have our accelerated learning plan in place, devices being distributed, Wi-Fi connections being distributed, and our partnership to create these Schoology courses. So while we're still practicing the features of Schoology, and just as in this group today of administrators, our teachers have varying levels of familiarity with Schoology. The content that needs to be there in the way that students and families can access it easily, consistently, and engage with it. The consistency is designed so that students are not confused between formatting of one teacher and another teacher. They are focused on that content. It's their direct link to the content. And we have those built out for Schoology as we train our teachers to become more proficient in designing and leading that work themselves.
All right, and so I'm closing you out with component number 4, provide and collect feedback, monitor growth, scaffold, and enrich. I would just like to offer to you that throughout these last 2.5 hours, your curriculum and instruction team has been collecting feedback with regard to how you are feeling about this new accelerated learning piece. We've been monitoring your growth, and I can tell you right away that I know that you grew exponentially in that you made it to your Schoology conference rooms, made it to your Google Meets, and you explored Schoology platforms. But I also know that based on QI, a small test of change might be needed so that we can all grow through this. Scaffolding and enriching, we've got feedback that we need to support our educators in the development of their skills for these Schoology platforms and build upon strengths, always being warm demanders so that we can give our students equitable instruction. And thank you so much.
So as we close out, this was a lot of information today. And our mission this year is all around accelerated learning. And so by the end of the school year, how will we know if we were successful? Every child will be able to read by the end of the 1st grade. We will see 10 percentage point growth in our ELA and mathematics priority grades, which are 3rd, 6th, and 9th grade. And every teacher and every administrator is a distinguished educator, level 2 or higher. And I just want to remind us again of our theme today. It's all about, we are in this together. It's going to take all of us. And I hope that you all commit, as Mr. Porter says, to grow through it. We know we're going to have learning pains, but if we are all together, one team, one message, supporting buildings, principals, teachers, students, and our families, we have this. Take it away, Dave.
All right, so what's next? I know that there's a lot to digest, a lot of things going on right now. In a typical school year, you would be super busy getting all those opening activities ready. This is anything but a typical school year, but we're just going to call it a couple things. I think we need to get ready for a motivating and enthusiastic opening week. We need to embrace our families and our teachers and get them ready. We need to make sure we are familiar with the Educator's Guide and the Family Guide to Accelerated Learning, which we can distribute out. And I think, as we made evident today, and I didn't get a chance to add the bullet point, we need to practice the technologies. We need to go slow to go fast and make sure that we're all learning together as we approach this opening in a way none of us have ever done before. So that means practicing the tools, showing some grace and mercy to our teachers and our families, and then a bunch of those just housekeeping items that, if we go into the next slide, are all accessible in the Principal Binder. So we do have the Principal Binder linked digitally. If you are a person that prefers a hard copy, contact Candace Fields at the email address there. And we will arrange for it to be picked up at the Ed Center, or when it is safe to do so, drop it off at the school. And there's also a checklist for opening week linked there as well, with a lot more detail about some of those things that were in that previous slide: opening orientation, the one plan, etc. So before we send you off, we're going to ask you just to give us a couple of minutes to fill out our exit ticket for the work today. If somebody could drop that link in the chat. That is our PD exit ticket we use for all of our professional development, so we can do better next time, and so we can learn how we can support your learning.
I think she has a few different Google Meets open because she's admitting people into the breakout sessions.
Okay, can you just give me the link to Blaze? Yeah, there we go. Thank you.